Why do I use an iPad for? What exactly is the need for me to buy an iPad? So, I got into university recently, a year ago, and university life gives you a lot of freedom on things which you hadn't even imagined of having in high school. So, there comes the need of study materials, that is books, textbooks, and you need to get all those hard-binded textbooks or a number of sheets and notes which you get in universities and from your friends or whomever you get those from, and those kind of gives you a lot of tall bundles of sheets, and that is not really good to hoard so many things with you. So I needed a way to get in all those notes in one single place, and I also wanted a way to take in notes beautifully with whatever colored pens and whatever types of books I wanted to take in notes on. And that made me buy this 10.2-inch 7th generation iPad here with this little thing here which does all the magic. This is the Apple Pencil Gen 1. So let's talk about these two great devices, shall we? So without any delay, let's get started. Which iPad do I use? I use the Apple's entry-level 10.2-inch 7th generation iPad, which is in this cool space gray color, which I absolutely admire. And yeah, there were better iPads like the Airs and the Pros, but it doesn't really make sense to buy those expensive iPads for the purpose I use, considering the fact that this iPad alone costed me around 30k and this pencil costed me around 8.5k extra. This 7th generation iPad uses an Apple A10 Fusion SoC with 3GB of RAM, through which the iPadOS 14 probably flies thanks to the excellent stabilization of the Apple's software, which Apple exactly nails every year. The Retina display, which has a resolution of 1620 by 2160, is just a blessing for your eyes to look at. The cameras are not great. It has an 8-megapixel rear sensor, which is decent for taking some emergency shots or something, but to be really honest, don't really want to mention the front camera, which is basically This model of the iPad also provides you with these small magnetic connector pins, which you can use to connect the rather expensive Apple's keyboard, which is costing you around 10,000 rupees extra. And the iPad weighs around 483 grams, which is quite a heavy device to hold around in your hands, but considering the fact that the iPad can do all your work of the textbook and notebooks, whose weight alone is unbearable, this weight is kind of bearable, I would say. And the battery life is amazing. I was actually surprised to see that this can give me a battery life around 10 hours each day continuously, where I'm using this iPad for almost taking down notes and watching courses or something like that. And also this iPad has the Apple's cute little name given to its fingerprint scanners, which is the Touch ID, which works surprisingly very well according to me. The Apple Pencil. This is a quite mandatory writing tool which you have to get if you are planning on taking notes or even sketching on your iPad. This is the Gen 1 Apple Pencil. You even get the Gen 2 one, but that won't really work with the 7th Gen or even the newer 8th Gen iPads. That is only for the Pros and the Airs. This one is a 1st Gen Apple Pencil, which comes in this glossy white finish and also has some heft to it. This is an exceptionally well made stylus by Apple, which I find it very comfortable and very nice to write on the iPad screen. And also the pressure sensors here work really great, which makes it a joy to draw or even write on the iPad. The only bug that bothers me about the Apple Pencil is the charging solution which Apple has designed, which directly connects to the bottom lightning port of the iPad. Lol. Can we admire the beautiful display of the iPad here? This iPad is having a 10.2-inch LCD display, which might sound small in paper, but believe me, this is quite a large device to hold, and sometimes it's draining to hold on in your hands for longer times. This tablet is not having a 16:9 aspect ratio like other Samsung tablets or any other Chinese tablets. This tablet has a 4:3 aspect ratio, which helps you a lot when it comes to taking notes or even mainly doing any artwork or you're sketching on a tablet or something. Comes with a resolution of 1620 by 2160, which is quite a high resolution for watching all your media consumptions. And also this goes all the way up to 1080p, so you don't have to worry about lacking that good video quality when you're watching videos. Remember, either the iPad 7th generation or the 8th generation, both of these iPads don't come with the True Tone tech, which is available in other higher end iPads or any higher end iPhones. This True Tone tech is not simply available in the basic 10.2 iPad. Keep in mind though, this iPad is not having a laminated display like any other higher end iPad Airs and Pros. This iPad has a small amount of air gap between the actual display and the glass panel itself, so you will feel that small air gap between these two panels. I never got actively bothered by it when I'm taking notes, but I can't really expect Apple to do much because this is after all the basic entry-level iPad in their whole lineup of iPads. This iPad runs on an A10 Fusion processor, which is like 4 years old already now. But don't let that number fool you. I know that the 8th gen iPad has the A12 Bionic chip, which was released like 2 years after A10 Fusion was released. Even though the A10 Fusion chip is considered outdated, I have never noticed any kind of lag or stutter or any kind of throttle down of the CPU when I am gaming or doing any other kind of heavy tasks on the iPad. Well, this doesn't mean that I am recommending you guys to go run and buy the 7th generation iPad. No, don't do that. The 8th generation iPad has a better processor, which is the A12 Bionic, which can give you a year long of future proofing and software support by Apple. And obviously, a better CPU is always recommended. Also, the A12 Bionic has some good AR capabilities, which you can make use of some apps and games. Now, let's talk about how I take notes in the iPad. I use this application called GoodNotes 5, which is a paid software from the App Store, which is not that expensive to be very honest, but it is a really popular software on the App Store which you can download. But I don't really use the basic Notes app, which is by default given in the iPad, because this as of now lacks a lot of features which the GoodNotes 5 provides for a cheaper price. So I would not recommend you to use the basic Notes app as of now. Let's see if Apple gives you any more updates on it in the future, then you can probably switch back to this. So what this application allows you to do is, this application is basically mostly designed across folder management. So what you can do is you can create a new notebook or a folder or an image, or you can scan documents, or you can also import a brand new PDF into the application and annotate it later if you want to. As you can see, I have annotated a couple of texts in this particular PDF right here, which allows you to basically understand and personalize the PDFs which you are provided with. You can choose from these cute looking beautiful covers here, which are pretty much everything you need. You can also select the type of paper you want to write on. Say you want to write on blank paper, or you want to write on dotted paper, or you want to write on squared paper, or you just want to write on a ruled paper. I have made a good looking cover, and then as you scroll, you can look at this. You can choose from different colored pens. Obviously, you can choose from different pen types. There is a fountain pen type, there is a ball pen type, there is a brush pen type. I usually keep it on brush pen type because I like to work with the pressure sensitivity of the pencil to give me kind of a crayon-y look to my notes, which makes it more attractive to look at. There is also an application called as Notability. What this application does is it adds a couple of more features to what GoodNotes had to offer. This can add up more features like file management into it, but GoodNotes doesn't really have a good file management system in it. Except GoodNotes has a lot of tools, but Notability lacks a little bit of tools which GoodNotes actually has. So you can probably get Notability or GoodNotes 5. It's all based on your needs. Notability costs 699 rupees on the App Store, and GoodNotes cost around 599 on the App Store. So GoodNotes is a cheaper option. The model which I have has only 32 gigabytes of storage. I would not recommend 32 gigabyte model because that just fills up your storage so fast you won't even get to know. So probably get a 128 gigabyte model, which will cost you a little bit extra money, but it will probably save you a lot of hassle to buy external dongles or to get external pen drives or something like that. So definitely go for the 120 gigabyte model instead of the 32 gigabyte model. So what do I conclude? The title said get work done iPad and not a review of an iPad. So this iPad can act as that sweet spot of technology for all your study and media consumption needs, with its larger screen size, a good processor, top-notch security, friendly price considering this is an Apple device, and most importantly, the Apple Pencil, which basically shoots up the iPad's use cases to the next level. Now they are no more making the iPad 7 gens because the 8 gen is already out and they are selling those. I would say go ahead and buy that 8 gen iPad if you want to experience whatever I mentioned in this particular video. Who knows, the new iPad can be your first ever Apple device like me. So that's it for this video then. If you have any more questions on this iPad or the 8th generation iPad or any newer iPads, you can ask them in the comment section below, and don't forget to like the video, and if you're liking my overall content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. As always, this is Pawan signing out.